Welcome into the Sports Buffoons Podcast. Let's get it going, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome on into the Sports Buffoon Studios once again. Thank you so much for joining on in, you guys. Out of Lenexa, Kansas, we are. So to my left, we have Tanner Dawson. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody?
And Jason JG to my right. Sometimes you guys switch it up on me. So
Well, we were this way last
I know,
week.
but still, it feels weird having you guys on opposite sides.
It just depends how much effort I want to put into setting up.
Oh, so you're saying that you wanted to be closer to the rest of your equipment?
Pretty
today?
simplicity
Okay.
of a setting up.
Gotcha. Well, JG, how you doing, man?
Hey, here's the thing, man. Nobody wants a boring ass show where they can have the same expectations every single week. So that's why we switched it up. We switched sides, and now I'm on another side this week. So that's how we roll.
That's right. Sometimes you just got to flip over and go the other direction, and just every once in a while spice it up a bit, right? Is that the goal here? Is that right, Tanner? We'll go with that. We can
spice it up.
Pretend like that's the reason why.
I mean, how boring are those shows? You see them in the same format, same background for like 900 shows in a row.
Fantasy footballers, you guys never mix it up.
They did switch it up. Remember, they went live places. They went to Los Angeles,
they did
Chicago.
Go live, but I mean,
that was really cool.
Studio is always
not much has changed.
Setup, so. Yeah. Well, guys, today was the final day of regular season baseball. Thank God. So the Royals finished off the season. I don't even know what the hell their record was. Not that I care about that too much. I just wanted to throw that out there. That way we could say it's officially the end of us worried about what's going on with baseball at all. Tanner, we do have some sad news about your brother, Connor, and the Milwaukee Brewers. So this team finished, is it 11 games over... What was their win-loss at the end of the year?
The final record, I was just pulling up the Royals, which was 65-97. They didn't quite hit the
100 mark.
100 or 70 mark, I was going to say. But the Milwaukee Brewers are 86-76 to finish the year with a loss to the D-backs today.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, hey, we knew as of like a couple days ago that they were out of the playoffs.
Yep.
But it's unfortunate. I mean, hey, with a record like 86-76, you kind of hope and expect, hey, we have a chance to get in here.
Yeah.
And they just barely missed the mark. And I hope that next year they can get things rolling again and pick up where they left off in a lot of directions. Because obviously the power was there with the team, hit a lot of home runs. I think batting average was somewhere towards the bottom half, but. Otherwise, I think Connor did a great job this first season, his first full year as a hitting coach.
As a major league
we would just like
coach.
to give him a nice little round of applause. Connor Dawson, we love you very much. So.
And he's not going to get fired like a lot of the Royals coaches are at the end of this year.
Can we please get those Royals guys out?
We don't want him to get fired.
Right. We're not even going to go there.
Now,
we're not even going to talk about it.
If we're going to bring positive news into this, now that his season is over, we do get a chance to put him on a couple of guest appearances coming back on the show.
Yeah. Well,
so there's that.
We'll have him on at some point, right? A couple times at least throughout this offseason. Plus, not to mention, he's getting destroyed in our fantasy league. So I'm enjoying that.
Maybe now you can focus on that a little bit.
And then the King still reigns as number one right now at the moment. So
I got you this week.
Tanner, you're playing me this week?
Yep.
Is that right? Ooh, you better clinch those butt cheeks, boy.
I ain't worried about it. Good matchups.
All right. Enough of the nonsense and bickering and whatever else.
Are we talking, by the way, any major league in the show? Any other MLB?
Yes, we are. It's kind of a big deal.
If you guys wanted to take a moment, you could.
A big deal.
I just wanted to ask you guys on the playoff format. Like, who do you guys think in the wild card and the playoffs? Anything? Anything? No.
It is what it is. It's baseball. I mean, you have an idea of who's going to be there. I don't think this is going to be like the Royals wild card situation where they barely get in and then all of a sudden make it to the World Series in 2014. I think it's this. You know who the top teams are, and it's who's going to end up being.
Tanner, to be frank here, I don't really give a shit. I want to know your take on who's the home run king.
We already did this. We already did this.
No, we did not. Again.
No, we did not.
Barry Bonds is the home run king. We already know this.
That's what
this
I
is already done.
A little bit ago.
We talked about this 2 shows ago.
But I want to know.
A huge discussion over Roger Maris and his family and the whole thing.
I think Aaron Judge hitting these home runs was so overrated. I
don't think it's overrated.
I think it was overrated because you're literally breaking into live college football games to show me his at bat where he strikes out or takes a walk.
So you guys think Roger Maris was a piece of shit for hitting 61?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Steroids never existed.
I'm not worried about steroids. Look, and also by the way,
your
whole Aaron Judge overrated.
I think the numbers.
This is the first AL guy since in 61 years, which was Roger Maris, hit above 60. This is a huge deal.
I get that. I understand that. It's also not breaking the record, nor did it even come close to breaking the record. And to me, it's like you're interrupting other live sports to show me his random at bats. I don't give a damn. Tell me when he hits the record, which he did.
Mhm.
But still, you spent 2 freaking weeks showing me all of his at bats, and I'm supposed to care? Like, imagine if you're a Boston Red Sox fan and you're sitting there like, are you kidding me? You're like, again? Just getting sick of seeing that crap all the time. And I don't know. To me, it was just like one of those things. Hey, I admire the fact he did this in today's era, especially in a more pitching dominant era compared to what we've seen, in the past in the 90s when all those records were set. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't get excited. Like, I like Aaron Judge. It's great. Tell me when he does it. I don't want to see every damn at bat and sit there through all this crap while he's hitting, line outs or ground outs.
Or
I don't
getting
care.
walked.
I don't care. I don't care. I'd rather watch the rest of the stupid KU game.
Here's the thing, guys. You got 2 groups. Okay, we got 2 camps in this discussion. So we have the people that don't care about the 62, and we have the people that do care about the 62. The people that do care about the 62, is because it's a big deal. The people that don't care are the people that want to wipe Barry Bonds and the rest of those cheaters off the map. So that's the whole point of this is you can choose not to care about 62. That's fine. But a lot of those people that don't care about 62 are the same people that just they want to wipe all these fake records off the map. And I agree with them. I totally agree with them. It happened. And I don't know how many people have told me, guess what, JG? It happened. Barry Bonds hit, 73 or whatever the fuck it was. But that's fine. It did happen. But we should also have a clean record and recognize people who did it the right way. And that's why this is a big deal to me. And I think, unfortunately, baseball has kind of taken a backseat over the last 5 to 10 years. And, I'm a big part of that, right? I'm a big NBA guy. I'm a big NFL guy. And it's kind of like baseball is kind of sliding off the map to a certain extent. But this is a big deal to me, having grown up watching baseball. And I think we need to really value what Aaron Judge has done here because it is a big deal. It's not just the American League record. He did it the right way. And that's what I'm about.
And I also appreciate the fact we're making assumptions that he did it the right way because some of these guys in the past have been found out afterwards. And we're making an assumption.
Everybody was found out afterwards.
That I'm just saying. I mean, you even Bond's situation, I don't even think it was ever proven. Well, I guess we're still assuming that was the case.
It's assuming because he won't go on court for it.
Right.
It's like Roger Clemens.
Right. We're assuming that, we assume Roger Clemens used steroids, of course. And it's like, okay, with Aaron Judge, it's like, yes, right now, in this very moment, we're sitting here applauding him for having an amazing season home run-wise. But we're going to assume that he's clean. But, 5 years from now, we might find out the other. And then all of a sudden, it's all for naught. All of a sudden,
Roger Maris Jr. is going to be taking all back his tweets and have to apologize for him because he said those, so many years ago, 5-6 years ago. So,
as you guys have known in the past, I've told you guys for
baseball,
matter. I say let it all loose. You could do as many PEDs as you'd like. Bring out the tables, ladders, and chairs. And I want to make this sport fun. And I think that allowing PEDs is going to make it better. So for me, I don't give a damn about all of the nonsense and PEDs or betting or whatever else that's going on in the sport of baseball. I want to see the best product in the field possible because that sport sucks compared to everything else going on in the world right now. And so I want to do whatever it takes to make the sport better. And so for me, Barry Bonds is the home run king. And obviously Pete Rose is the hit king. And, and so on. Roger Clemens is one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Like, I don't give a damn what they did. And you maybe at the time I'm supposed to care, but I don't care. This sport right now needs some help and needs to find a way to notarize certain players and make them superstars in the spotlight of publicity. And they struggle with that. In a game where your face is uncovered, somehow they struggle with getting their people out there and notarized in the way that they should be. And, obviously other sports, NBA and NFL, just all the faces and that overtake whatever MLB is doing right now. So for me, I want to make the sport better. So to me, it's not about restricting or saying you can't do this or whatever, because people always find loopholes. There's always going to be cheaters out there in whatever sport you play. I think that the best is whoever put up the best numbers for whatever year that was the best. So,
and I think I remember us having a similar conversation before, like maybe a couple of years ago, when the spider tack situation was out there. And I think I was probably the one, like, I honestly, I'm probably the biggest problem on this show because I take both sides of every argument. I was a big fan of letting everyone use spider tack and everyone use steroids because, and I wanted fights. I wanted more fights in baseball because it makes it more entertaining. But like, I feel like cheating and allowing fights in baseball, those are like two different things. Like, you could still do everything fairly. You could eliminate spider tack, eliminate the steroids, but just let everybody have bench clearing brawls on the field every single day. That's still a fair game, but it's more entertaining. And that's why I voted for more bench clearing brawls where people just kick the shit out of each other. That would be more entertaining in my eyes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't mind any of it. It's all fine with me. So obviously I feel differently when it comes to football because I respect that sport much more. But we'll talk about that at a different time.
I don't know. Exciting stuff's happening in baseball right now. It's playoff
Tanner,
time,
I had a question for you, actually. Jason and I were talking earlier, and we couldn't figure out what is your actual favorite sport?
It's a great question.
Antonio Brown? Is that your
We're
favorite
not talking
sport?
about Antonio Brown.
Definitely it's not it. I'd say my overall favorite sport that I'd have to say for sure is college basketball.
So basketball. So we both kind of agreed on basketball and college basketball. Okay,
it has to be college.
It doesn't matter. They're like, there's no. It's just basketball.
Right.
You don't have to say one or the other.
What the topic we were talking about, basketball, was the answer we both had. So,
I mean, I'm not necessarily NBA as my favorite by any means, but college basketball specifically is my favorite sport to look at.
And there's really no difference because if you put it to me, I'm going to say NBA basketball first, and then college basketball is my.
There is different.
Favorite. So I mean, there's a slight nuance there, but I'm just saying those are my two favorites, and it's both basically the same sport.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I was curious on that one. So now the fans out there listening will know when they watch your whiskey podcast.
2 weeks out from now, when Mike goes out of town, it's a Tanner JG podcast.
There might be an NBA segment in there.
We're not going to know what the hell to talk about except basketball.
Well, guys, you get to save that for a later date because today, the rest of this show, we're talking about freaking football, baby. So here we go. All right. I'm glad we got all that baseball out of our systems and so on.
Did we?
But week 4 is all wrapped up for us. I think week 4 was less surprising than the other weeks, actually, in my opinion. I thought I saw a lot of kind of what we expected going into the season this past week. Not a ton of upsets.
No.
I felt like it was kind of, we're getting in the rhythm of knowing now what to expect game by game. And the surprises are no longer surprises. We're becoming a little numb to them. But I did have a question for you guys. Going into the season, obviously, the big hot take was that the AFC West was going to run rampant and the NFL and be the clear-cut number 1 division across the board. And I wanted to ask you guys, so far to this point in the season, obviously the Raiders have underachieved. The Broncos have barely put up any points. As a matter of fact, they have forced 66 points so far, which is second worst in the AFC, only behind the Colts. So that team right there is obviously also struggling. The Chargers are 2-2, also have a point differential of minus 16 right now on the season. And who would have thought that would be the case? Because what we, going into the season, thought the Chargers would really, truly compete with the Chiefs. Chiefs went out there, took care of business, and then the Chargers lay a couple eggs. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with Justin Herbert, so let's not completely destroy them by any means. I think that's still a good team. And the injuries, of course, the guys like Keenan Allen and so on. But looking across the rest of the league, you guys, I mean, are there surprises? Is there some other division now between the AFC and the NFC that you think takes the cake and actually should be looked at as being the number 1? Because believe it or not, the division we all believe to be probably one of the weakest, win-loss right now is actually the best.
Correct.
The NFC East. You know, you got your Commanders at 1-3, but on paper. But otherwise, as a total win-loss right now for the NFC East, you're sitting there with a 11-5 record total between the 4 teams at the moment. So that I think right now is the best in the entire NFL as a total. So guys, who is your number one division?
Go for it.
Here's the thing, guys. It's just like everybody to me is underwhelming right now. And we have to kind of take a step back and say, okay, it's early in the season. But there's a lot of underwhelming divisions right now. Like the AFC West to me is a little underwhelming. A lot of divisions out there, like we all thought that the Rams, everybody thought the Rams were going back to the Super Bowl and things like that. I just think that as we stand right now, the best division in football right now, I'm not saying this is how it's going to end up.
I'm curious.
The best division in football right now is the AFC East. And it's because the JG told you that the Dolphins, maybe not who you guys didn't think they were going to be like this. I think, Mike, you were maybe a little bit high on the Dolphins.
You know this for months now. I was huge on the Dolphins. At the end of last year, I told you guys going into this year, the Dolphins would be a really, really good team to watch for. And I had an entire 5 or 10 minute topic about it, even just randomly with you guys. And yeah, I've liked the Dolphins for a long time, even before Tyreek Hill.
And so for me personally, I'm not going to be shocked if the Dolphins win that damn division. But the Dolphins and the Bills are who we thought they were. Okay. The Jets are 2-2 right now. Okay. And I'm not saying like the Jets are like this great team, but they're starting to turn into a team where nobody really wants to play against them.
They're competitive.
And we all know that the New England Patriots, as bad as we think they are, it's Bill Belichick. So nobody really wants to play against those two teams, although the Jets and the Patriots are the worst two teams in that division. They're competitive. And so when those two worst teams in the division are competitive and you have the Dolphins and the Bills atop that division, to me, if I'm any NFL team, I do not want to go up against any of those teams in that division. And so the Bills, I honestly, I can't tell you who I think's. If I had to just bet on it right now, I would say I think the Dolphins are going to win that division. But the Bills, we all know who they are. And to me, that's the strongest division in football, at least to this point. Things can change. We talked about last week about who we're disappointed in. And for me, by far, that's the AFC West. But I've got the AFC East right now as my biggest surprise and the strongest division in football.
So we got Carlos over here commenting in. He says, this is crazy. Why the AFC East is just as junky as the rest of similar divisions. He has the Dolphins and Bills coming out. And the Patriots and Big Bill are done, the team that is lacking depth.
And here's the other thing about the AFC East, dude. Like, the Jets have a good roster. And you guys, I'll be the first to admit, I told you on this show last week, I said, Zach Wilson is a bad quarterback. And I almost think that he was probably listening to this show. And then maybe that fired him up a little bit. Well. But, he's still kind of young. So let's just kind of see where this thing goes. I still am not a big believer in Zach Wilson. But, who knows what's going to happen with the Jets. But they do have a good roster at this point.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Jets by any means. I mean, they have some talent offensively, but their defense is really, really bad, and that's what's going to end up being a thing that causes them a lot of issues down the road. So, and Zach Wilson's turnover issues, that's going to be a thing that continues on. I don't know necessarily that he's in the right situation to succeed. You know how I feel about anyone who goes to the Jets. If you're a quarterback, your career is probably on thin ice.
Carlos says Zach is whack. And then he also says, I'm a Jets fan and I can't stand them. So, I appreciate Carlos commenting in, of course, as always. But yeah, it's interesting situation in the AFC East.
Yeah. Tanner, what's your, I mean, you could answer anything here. I mean, you could still say AFC West if you want.
I could.
I think that we need to revise our original beliefs about the AFC West. And that's why I'm bringing this up.
So Jason actually ended up still in my division as well. We did not talk about this prior, by the way. So I believe the AFC East is probably the right answer in this case. AFC West not far behind, but I'm going to make a case for last year's best division, NFC West, come into play. Okay. And the 49ers, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. Much, I don't know, like much more competitive division than I expected. I think we all expected. We didn't expect Geno to come out and look like a starting quarterback through 4 weeks. On however he's doing that with that team. The Seattle Seahawks are a much better team than we think they are, and we'll see if they continue to, keep going to that route. But then you got the Cardinals waiting for Hopkins to come back. I swear that's the only reason why Kyler Murray is being Kyler Murray right now is he's waiting for Hopkins to get there, and we saw that last year. I'll stand by it. As soon as Hopkins comes back, we'll see a different Murray in play, and that defense will be a lot healthier too by then. And then the 49ers Rams, guys. The Rams aren't a bad team. They're just trying to figure out their offense now that they lost. Van Jefferson isn't really in play. Odell's still hurt. And they sent Robert Woods out. And they can't figure out who they want the number 2, number 3 guy to be there because they're, I don't know, it's Cooper Kupp and then there's Cooper Kupp, and then there's Tyler Higbee. So there's Cooper Kupp and 3 spots in Higbee. They're figuring that out. I'm not worried about Sean McVay and that team. That defense is still good despite what you saw on Monday night. They just play the 49ers bad. And the 49ers, now that Jimmy G is starting, there's no reason why this team can't win their division. They had that great win against the Packers. The Packers, week 1. They beat the Vikings the week after that, who were supposedly the next one in line to win that division up there. So 2 great wins, bad loss to Houston, of course, and then of course, the Bears game, which we all know Jimmy G ended up coming for, and then Jimmy G came in for. I'm sorry, that's preseason. What am I looking at? That's horrible. I was like, this doesn't sound right. Bears loss, Seahawks win, and Seahawks was when Jimmy G came in, right?
Jimmy G came.
Or was that the Broncos?
When Trey Lance was injured?
Correct. Seahawks, week 2.
That was, this was. Yeah, I thought it was 3-3.
Week 3 was Broncos.
Was one
they lost 10-11 to the Broncos.
Okay, so I guess it would have been week 2.
It had been week 2, right? So and they ended up winning that game with Jimmy G coming in.
That game,
which is a good.
It was rough. It was at 11-10 was the final score.
That Broncos game. That Broncos game was awful.
Yeah,
that was the 10-11.
That was rough. These primetime games are rough at times.
I know we're talking about divisions, but can we get a good primetime game? The
Chiefs just
the
had
Chiefs
a really
was a good
one. What
one.
do you mean?
But like when I cover him, like Monday nights, which I'm hoping the Raiders Chiefs is a good one, and Thursday nights would be nice. So,
well, your last Monday night game when you covered it there with Nick, I think it was, that was ugly. I mean, this Rams 49ers game, it was kind of a struggle to watch some of that. It was literally let's throw the ball to Cooper Kupp and see what the hell happens.
Kupp,
that was their game plan.
And then we're gonna pick it, and then we're Cooper Kupp again.
Yeah, that was their whole game plan. So like the 49ers defense was like, I wonder what's gonna happen.
There was one drive on the Gamecast where I legit saw Cooper Kupp go from 60 yards to 98 with a field goal that was ended up kicking. Yeah. He went from 8 receptions to 12 receptions in one drive.
That's what they do. Like it's pretty obvious where the ball's going to go. It's like, sorry, it's football. I don't care who you are. It's not going to work that way.
No.
You got to spread the ball around.
I think there's promise in the NFC West is what I'm saying. I think there's promise. These teams are better than what the records show. They are better than what a lot of us thought prior to the season. So, but I think if you're looking at, I think Jason's correct. AFC East. I think then it goes to AFC West and then the NFC West division.
Gotcha. I actually am surprised by the AFC North, even though they're all 2-2 besides the Steelers. I think the top 3 there are still really good teams. But the truth be told, I actually still believe the AFC West is the best division in the game. And the reason I say that is because the Chiefs obviously are, in our opinions, still the top of the AFC right now. Of course, the Bills are close. There's teams that are in the mix. The Dolphins are close. You got the Ravens who've played well, stuff like that. There's still teams in the mix, but the Chiefs obviously at the top of this. The Chargers being 2-2. Well, first of all, one of those losses is to the Chiefs, and then at the same time, Justin Herbert just got broken ribs and then plays the Jaguars, and took a loss there, which he was in a game he probably shouldn't have been playing in the first place. Chargers are better than 2-2, and then the Broncos sitting here at 2-2. Look, this is a team that's still figuring it out, evolving a little bit. Now, are they great? No. This team is still in that 8-9, 9-8 range. But the Raiders sitting at 1-3, that team's also better than 1-3. The Raiders are better than 1-3. The Raiders will probably fall to 1-4. But that doesn't mean that they're a bad team by any means. I think this is a Raiders team that can go out and literally beat any other team in the AFC.
They should have been 0-5.
Here's the thing,
Sure.
guys. When you look at the AFC West on paper, yes, they are the best division in football. I agree. I totally agree. But when you just kind of look at the facts that, it's kind of Russell Wilson's first year, Nate Hackett's first year, Josh McDaniels' first year, Derek Carr's first year in that offense. They're kind of feeling their way into these new situations. And then, oh, by the way, the Chargers, which right now, like if they don't get over their injury issues that they're going through right now, they're going to come in last place. So I can make the case that the AFC West at the end of the year could be the worst division in football.
No.
If the Chargers can't overcome their injury woes, which I hope that that's not the case. I hope that they'll be competitive. I mean, Denver, here's the thing about Denver. We know they have a great defense, right? So, Denver should be there in the end, but I had Denver in last place. When we did our preseason rankings, I had Denver in last place. Now, all of a sudden, I've got them in second. I think they're going to end up in second place because the Chargers, dude, we look at this every single year. The Chargers can't stay healthy. Now, all of a sudden, the Raiders are winning games. Like, how long is it going to take for them to get used to that new offense with Josh McDaniels? I mean, we don't know that. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to be competitive. But what if I'm wrong? I think there's a case to be made that with that Denver defense, they're the second best team in the division. The Chargers can't get healthy. And then the division ends up being trash.
Yeah, I don't think it's trash by any means. And also, I've felt this way the entire offseason, but I think that defense is a little fraudulent. And I think we saw a little taste of that this past week here.
It's fraudulent against the Chiefs. Sure.
The
Chiefs
Broncos defense?
Yeah.
Well, because they haven't played each other.
No, I'm just saying if they play the Chiefs, yeah, it's fraudulent against the Chiefs. The Chiefs just torched the Bucks. We just torched the Bucks. So yeah, I would agree with you. They're fraudulent if they play the Chiefs, but they're not fraudulent against anybody else, especially in that division.
I mean, if you're having games that are 10-11, 10-17, you obviously can't be fraudulent through 4 weeks.
Oh, but they gave up 32 points to the Raiders.
Correct.
And
so the offense did nothing as well.
And the previous other games were literally against the 49ers, Texans, and Seahawks.
Let's not take away either the fact that the offense couldn't move a ball and the defense was out there. What was it, like 20% more time? But and we all know this as Chiefs fans.
Game script plays into account.
Chiefs fans, we know this.
Russell
when the
Wilson
defense is out there,
is not turning the ball over.
No, but the offense can't move.
I'm going to promise you
they're
this right now.
They're not being put in bad situations. The defense is not being put in bad spots. Just because they're on the field a lot doesn't mean that they're, the other team's getting the ball on the 50-yard line. Like, they're still getting themselves in good position to make some plays. But, like, to allow 32 to the Raiders right here, I think is just kind of showing me what exactly the defense I expected going into this year. This defense is nothing special. And you guys will see that as time goes on.
I don't think they're anything special, but I think they do enough to keep their team in it, that knowing that the offense isn't moving the ball.
Right, because Russell is going to take care of the ball pretty well. He's not a guy, big turnover guy.
Turnover or anything.
Although Melvin Gordon is. We should all remember
I'm not going to be shocked if they come in second place in our division. I'm really not. Just the way things have panned out.
Denver?
The way things that I told you. I told you in the preseason that the
Chargers. I promise you this.
I told you the Chargers will be the Chargers. They will have injured dicks all year, which is exactly what's happening. And now all of a sudden the Raiders can't win a fucking game.
You want to throw $5 on it? I don't throw big money.
Yeah,
I'll throw $5 on it.
Chargers are going to finish second.
Chargers finish second in the AFC West.
Whatever.
Broncos are nothing special. They'll be surprised when the Raiders do pass them, by the way, in the standings.
By the way, I hate the Donks. I can't stand that. I'm using my analytical mind right now. Okay.
Well, we're just letting you know on that one. So, anyways, so one more quick question, you guys. We hit on for just a second about Monday night and what a snoozer that kind of was. I felt like anyway.
Yeah.
The Rams 49ers situation there, and how the Rams at this point are looking a little different. And we're seeing a very uneasy ever since week one. Matthew Stafford, He did have a better week after week 1. But same time, this Rams team right now, 94 points allowed now through 4 weeks and only 70 points forced. They're becoming a very one-dimensional. When I say one-dimensional is they have one weapon on offense, and that's Cooper Kupp. And, the Rams team we saw last year, first of all, you had Andrew Whitworth over there at left tackle. The O-line was playing much better than they're playing now. And you had Odell Beckham Jr., you had a healthier Van Jefferson who hasn't even seen the field yet this year. The Rams offense actually had some options. Matthew Stafford is looking very, very shaky because he doesn't know where to go with the ball.
He doesn't.
If it's not Cooper Kupp, he doesn't trust anyone else.
It's like when Snowski, maybe, Higbee, maybe. Outside of that, there's nobody.
It's a problem. And the run game sucks too.
Oh, yeah.
This whole idea that
Henderson Akers.
Cam Akers was going to somehow be great in this league. I've never seen anything that would show me that would be the case. And so now here we are facing a situation where the 49ers just rolled them here on Monday Night Football. And Jimmy Garoppolo played really well. He looked confident. Oh, and their O-line protected pretty well. He didn't get sacked 5 times like Matthew Stafford did, which ended up, I think, being 6 times in the end.
Yep.
And then the Cardinals, they're 2-2 right now off to a rough start. Keep in mind, like I said about the Chargers, one of those losses was also to the Chiefs. So when you lose to the Chiefs, you go, oh, they're 2-2. Well, you also played one of the best teams in the NFL too with one of those losses. And the Cardinals will be getting back DeAndre Hopkins as time goes on. Seahawks, of course, they're in an interesting situation.
Very interesting.
And Geno's playing well. But my question to you guys now is looking at what we've seen now through this NFC West, Tanner, which you consider to be an argument for maybe actually the best division in football are the Rams actually the fraud right now of the NFL? Is this a team that's going to have that Super Bowl hangover? Because as of right now, this is looking sad, and they can't figure out how to live life without the rest of these pieces, without Odell Beckham Jr. You got one weapon. They can't figure out how to work with it.
And you're talking about like hangover as in like a losing record, missing the playoffs, right?
Frauds.
Well,
Are they frauds?
You won the Super Bowl last year.
Correct.
Fraudulent would mean to me that you maybe make the 7th seed and then you're out, or you miss the playoffs altogether. And this team is actually going to suck.
I don't think they're going to suck by any means. No, not at all. I think they got some things to figure out. They lost a lot of guys coming into play during the offseason. Of course, an older team. And now you got Stafford. Everybody's talking about his elbow. It's not his elbow, guys. It's the chemistry, the confidence that's within the team. I don't think these guys are fraudulent. I think they're going to get it figured out here. We're only in week 4. They're still figuring out who they like in weapons. Was it Wisnowski is the other guy?
The receiver.
Yeah, that he seems to like. But, Allen Robinson obviously is a no-show because he doesn't trust Allen Robinson anywhere.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's a rough offense, but I think it'll get better before I'm not going to say it's a bust, a fraud. I'm not going to say this is a Super Bowl fraud from last year. That team was actually pretty good. They were on top. They were on point. I think this is a team that's going to get Odell Beckham back, in my case, is what I think. And I think this team will figure it out here. It might take, it might be week 6, week 7 when we start seeing this offense start turning. But Matt Stafford did the same thing last year. Remember this. He had multiple 3-interception games. He had multiple 2-interception games. He had losses where he shouldn't have lost. Okay? I'm not worried about where the Ram team is right now. Their defense is good. McVay's a great coach. Stafford's the guy. We all know he's going to figure it out. They're all competitors. They'll get it figured out. I don't think they're frauds at all.
I don't like it. And this team looks worse than the 2018 Jared Goff Rams and that offense. And
I wouldn't say they look worse.
This team looks
Their
worse.
offensive line is worse
than the 2018 Rams. This team looks worse.
The problem with what you just said there is the fact that Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Matt Stafford right now. He is a better quarterback.
The Rams 2018 offense with Jared Goff was better than what we see of the current Rams team.
Correct.
And defensively too. Defensively even. Jalen Ramsey, now talking about a fraud. That guy is a fraud.
Isn't a fraud.
Yes, he absolutely is. The guy gets destroyed.
He's not the best.
Week after week.
But that's what corners do. That's what playmakers do.
If he's some kind of superstar elite cornerback, and he's not.
He's the guy that said,
sucks.
Remember when he came out?
So overrated.
Just because he doesn't
when he came out,
overrated. No, his coverage sucks. Did you not watch week 1, Tanner? Did you not watch him get freaking destroyed?
Week 1 is week 1, though. Let's be real.
Week 1's week 1. You also allowed 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'd say Aaron Rodgers throws 3 picks every week 1. So
dude, Jalen Ramsey is actually a bum, an undercover bum. Fraud. He's a fraud.
My favorite quote from Jalen Ramsey all time is when Josh Allen first came to the league and said, "Josh Allen is trash." Like
Yeah,
that was amazing to me. And now look how the tables have turned, my
How
friend.
the turntables
Look how the
turn.
tables have turned.
Well, the things Ramsey says are irrelevant to me because he's about as smart as Antonio.
The only thing I have to say about the Rams right quick is just like, I don't care. There's a lot of different terms we can use. A lot of people might be scared to call them frauds. I'm not. Yeah, they're definitely a fraud. You could call it Super Bowl hangover. You just throw whatever term you want to use, dude. Yes, the answer is yes. They are a fraud. And the reason why they are a fraud is because that procedure that Matthew Stafford had done on his elbow, it's a little bit more than you think it is. And the fact that Allen Robinson hasn't done shit this year, it's a little bit worse of a problem than you think it is. And that offensive line is a little bit, it's a worse problem than you think it is. So when you take those three things and you combine them, it's a little bit bigger problem than you think. And this season is going to be a disaster for these guys. And I don't really care if you think it's a hangover or what you think it is. It's a problem. Like Allen Robinson, you know, what's the reason why he isn't in shit? Okay, because Matthew Stafford can't probably throw the deep ball at this point, right? Because his elbow is fucked up. Yeah. And so, but there's a lot of different things going on here, and they are frauds. That's the bottom line. They're not going to do shit this year. I would not be shocked if they come in last place in the division. I still think that they'll beat Seattle, but if they come in last place behind Seattle, it's not going to shock the shit out of me because they've got some problems on that team. And this is, to me, it's basically, I mean, they're going down the tubes, man. Wow. This season is over for the Rams.
Well, the 49ers have beat them 7 times in a row now.
It's over.
The Cardinals are also a team that's on the rise, who will get it figured out more as DeAndre Hopkins returns very, very soon.
Absolutely.
And then at the Rams at that point, it's like, okay, you better pray and hope that Odell wants to come back to your team. Otherwise, Odell's going somewhere. I mean, the Giants have talked to him. I mean, Odell's going to go somewhere else to a winning team and figure things out there.
What are you going to do when you got 2 good players on your team? You got Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald, and those are the only 2 good fucking players on your team. What are you going to do? You're going to fold.
Yeah,
the season's over. It's over.
It's going to be a rough slate for the rest of the season for the Rams,
so
I think.
Carlos out here commenting, he goes, Rams do the same thing every season. They lose superstars because that system is made for a healthy, deep team. He keeps saying Shanahan's system is junk. McVay can't get past it. They lost Odell and Von Miller, who gave Donald an opportunity to get more hits and few sacks. Whitmore, big loss too. And then he also says, Jason, you sound like a financial security agent. Fraud, fraud, fraud.
I would thank you for that because I'm trying to be a little bit analytical here, but I'll even take it one step further. I'm not going to be surprised if I see Jimmy Garoppolo versus Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You heard it here first.
Well,
not going to be shocked.
Now,
the Whitworth retirement is rough. I know he's 40 years old, but he's better than everything they're working with right now. So it's just you get to deal with it.
It's a rough team. They're figuring life out. I think they'll be all right. I really do think they're going to be all right.
I don't see any hope right now.
Yeah.
Them. I think they're.
You like Cam Akers? Is that why you think?
No,
they're
I don't
be
like
right?
Cam
You're a big
Akers
fan of Cam
I already
Akers?
cut Cam, dude.
Tanner, Todd Gurley in 2018 is better than Cam Akers and Henderson.
But you saw what they did with Todd Gurley. They cut him out.
Fucking A, man. What are they going to do? Bring OBJ back?
Henderson
like, there's no, they got nothing, man.
They got to bring OBJ back.
They are cooked.
You know,
Carlos says, ew, what, Garoppolo versus Mahomes? That's Shanahan.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Well, yeah.
I will gripe for a minute. I think Kyle Shanahan's actually an amazing play caller. So
yeah, that was a brain fart on my part. I meant to say Shanahan versus Mahomes, not Garoppolo.
Do you,
versus Mahomes.
I want to throw something at Jason real quick, and you can answer too, Mike. So let's say you're right? Let's say it is Garoppolo Mahomes.
I'll shit my pants if that happens.
Do the 49ers finally forget the whole Trey Lance project and stick with Garoppolo? Or did they say, oh, hey, they forget the Super Bowl? We're going to go ahead and go with Trey Lance.
No, they're not going to fucking do that.
You don't think they will?
No. They have to leave Garoppolo in there. I mean, if he takes them to the promised land,
again,
even if you think he's going to lose,
even a playoff game,
you're not going to, because Trey Lance didn't play the whole fucking year. You're not going to throw Trey Lance out there like in the fucking Super Bowl. That's not going to happen. You just kind of, at some point, you have to bend over and you have to take it. You know, that's what my mentor told
Yeah,
me
if
all
you're
those years
winning-
ago.
If you're
At
winning
some
games,
point, you have
gotta
to
stick
bend
with the
over
guy.
and you have to take it.
You got to stick with who's winning you games. So
I agree.
you know,
I
I mean,
agree.
you can't just go back to Trey Lance because first of all, Trey Lance has not shown me anything compared to Garoppolo and his success with the 49ers. So to me, it's like, yeah, Trey Lance is maybe you think he has better upside than Jimmy Garoppolo, but we've never seen it yet put out on the field. So
Why
it's
why would
to
you
be
hurt
proven.
something that makes your team better?
And I just
Yeah,
want to
just
throw
go
this out there
stick with
too. Like,
Garoppolo then.
I want to stop trashing players and teams that make it to the Super Bowl and lose. And, you know, like LeBron James, for example, the NBA Finals. He made it to the NBA Finals all those years. Why do we trash LeBron James? Like, can we start giving these teams credit? Like, if Jimmy Garoppolo, by some random chance, makes it back to the Super Bowl this year and loses, give the guy some fucking credit, okay? Like, he accomplished something in his
Correct.
life. He won the damn NFC championship 2 times. You know, give him some fucking credit. You know, that's all I'm saying.
You don't always have to be a superstar QB to take
Yeah.
a team. Sometimes you are the missing piece.
Win your fucking conference.
If
Win
if
the
you just
conference
win the games
championship,
and give your
you
team an
know?
opportunity, a lot of times that's what it is. So
Yeah, and Garoppolo is only 31 years old right now, so it's like, you know, stick it out, see what happens. You know, I mean,
why not?
if things are going well, and you know, you might think Trey Lance is the future, but there's nothing to be shown that be the case. So I'd roll with Garoppolo for another 5 years and just be like, hey, you could sit there like what the Packers did with some guys that they've drafted over the last few years.
Not only that, dude, but when Bill Belichick retires and Josh McDaniels takes over the Patriots, he'll be begging for Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's bring Jimmy Garoppolo back to the Patriots.
Here we go. The whole
And
Patriots.
they'll do what Bill Belichick
Reunion.
wanted to do that
Reunion.
whole fucking time, dude. Bring him in there and get some shit done.
Not interested in all that crap. That's not what the direction's going to be unfolding on that one. But
You heard it here first.
I like
you heard it here
I like
first.
random pipe dreams though of whatever
heard it
people
here
think,
first.
and it's just
Hey, we call him a JG take right
things
there for a
happen. I
reason.
mean, yeah, it's
Not
He's
a
got
pipe
it.
dream.
Mac Jones is still they're going to be their guy for a while.
I
so
hope not.
Not
That's
Brady.
gonna be the
What's
case.
the other guy's name?
Zap?
Bailey Zappi.
Zappy.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's-
he just put that on the Green Bay defense.
He's a
this-
4th round guy, and Tom Brady was a 6th round guy.
Yeah.
Why should he not be the starting quarterback?
Bailey
ahead
right
of
now.
Mac
He looked
Jones?
pretty good this week against
Fucking
This
throw him in there.
conversation's killing me, you guys.
Throw him in there,
I-
dude.
Do
Throw him
it.
in
Why
there.
not?
I can't do
You
this
love Bailey
conversation
Zappi.
anymore.
I know. I
like
see it in
Bailey.
your eyes.
I'll take Zappy all day over Mac Jones.
I'll take it.
All right, guys. So that Chiefs game we just saw against the Buccaneers, that was pretty awesome, wasn't it? I mean, Chiefs went out there and got that special teams figured out right away to begin the beginning of the game with that forced fumble on the kickoff. Started off the game literally the exact opposite of what we saw against the Colts in Week 3. So, hey, went out there, did our job. Patrick Mahomes looked amazing. We don't need to go into the details. Everyone out there in the world saw it. But what I did like the most offensively, actually, was finally getting Isaiah Pacheco more carries in the run game. And Clyde was out there running them, you know, picking up 5, 6, 7 yards of chunks. Put in Pacheco, same damn thing was happening. It's a lot of hard running. And yeah, there wasn't the, the 40, 50-yard breakaway run, but they were gashing them for easy 7, 8 yards at a time against the supposed number 1 rush defense of the past 3 years in the NFL.
A great defense already through 4 weeks.
And it was the number 1 defense through 4 weeks, of course.
Yeah.
Going into 4 weeks.
Going in 4 weeks.
But
yeah.
guys, I mean, just for a minute here, I want to hit on the Chiefs situation and how we're feeling now, because against the Colts and that loss was rough to handle because there was no excuse. Jonathan Taylor didn't do a damn thing against the Chiefs, and yet we went out there and pooped the bed against Matt Ryan, who also didn't even play that great of a game. It was just the Chiefs beat themselves, and we went out there this time, took care of business. Defense played really, really well in spots that they needed to step up and make a play. L'Jarius Sneed is the best blitzing corner in the entire NFL.
No, by far. By far.
I was really happy with the total product that we saw on the field, as well as just the variety of offensive figures that was used throughout the game, because we're not seeing 3 or 4 starters out there on the field the entire time. You're literally seeing a combination of like Noah Gray, Jody Fortson, Justin Watson, Sky Moore was involved more, and then mix in there Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and of course Juju's going to be out there most of the snaps, Clyde and Isaiah, and you're seeing literally a plethora of of weapons used, and you never know play by play by play, down by down, who's going to be on the field. You look up and it's like, whoa, what package are they coming out with now? Because now all of a sudden it's like a 3 tight end set, but they're all split out wide.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are we watching? Like, it's incredible what's going on right now, because you literally do not know what to expect or what to game plan for if you're the opposing defensive coordinator right now. And I know we're saying this based off of the better half of 3 out of 4 games, because that Colts game was rough. But in this Buccaneers game, it was the true definition of what the Chiefs are capable of because of the creativity of Andy Reid. So guys, I just real quick, your thoughts on the current state of the Chiefs and going in here to week 5, of course. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, the Raiders are a team that have to get a win. If they go 1-4, they're in big trouble. They're going to come out fighting. And Patrick Mahomes said it right after the Buccaneers game. He goes, "You know who's coming to town next. You know who's coming to town next." So his mind was already on the Raiders and what kind of beat down they deserve, as they always do. They deserve to get whipped. So yeah, not to break down the game too early, guys. But what are your current thoughts on Chiefs and just kind of what you felt after that Buccaneers game?
And you guys already know what I think about the Colts. I think they're a little bit underrated team, and I'm not gonna look back on that loss as like the end of the world. I think the Colts are gonna kind of make a comeback and be decent in that division, but that's neither here nor there. My biggest takeaway from the game is that the Chiefs have the number 1 rush defense in the NFL right now. I understand that we are middle of the pack overall, but that's only going to get better. We get Willie Gay, Trent McDuffie back. But on the other end of it, not only do we have the number 1 rush defense in the league, but we just played a really, really good Bucs defense, and we put up 41. Okay, I got to watch my language here. We put up 41 points on that really, really good Bucs defense. Okay, we scored on 8 of the first 10 drives, and like I feel like the Bucs defense is a little bit underrated so far this year, and it's kind of like everybody wanted to ask themselves, oh my gosh, what are the Chiefs going to do without Tyreek Hill? Like, oh my gosh, they're going to shit the
still
bed.
through 4 weeks.
And that's not what's playing out here in real time. Okay. We don't have Tyreek Hill, and we just put up 41 points on a really, really good Bucs defense. And so my takeaway is like, we can score on anybody, and that defense is only going to get better once we get these players back into the fold. And so if the defense is getting better and the offense is just so much better than we thought it was going to be, and you got Patrick Mahomes, who is potentially the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, leading the charge here, I mean, the sky is the limit for me. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I mean, it's a long season, but putting up 41 points against the Bucs is a huge deal for me, because I have so much respect for that Bucs defense. To put up 41 points against them is just, I'm feeling really, really good right now, and I probably need to take a step back here and kind of try to come back to reality.
No, I don't think you do. I think you're feeling good is what you're supposed to do after those games, and how they bounce back is the big thing. Look, I'm not going to say too much here about the Chiefs. You catch our Selling the Kingdom. We'll have a show, of course, every Friday morning. We'll drop our previous week preview. So our week 5 preview this week. But I will say this Bucs game made me feel a lot better about where we stand as a Chiefs team, where we can come back after a bad loss, where we can fight back. And, this is a team that you may not see at other teams that are together. They're uniform, the chemistry is there, the morale's there, as most of our successful Chiefs teams have been. But this team here seems to be a little bit special, as they are using, like Mike said, various guys, various units coming to play, and nobody is saying, I want the ball. Where's the ball? Why am I not getting the ball? We have Juju, MVS, Mecole, Justin Watson now, Travis Kelce even. We know Travis Kelce will get his targets, but, guys aren't coming to say, hey, where's the ball, when they know at any moment the ball could be going their way, right? We saw it with that Clyde touchdown, that basketball throw. right? It's going or basketball hoop. So, yeah, I'm happy for it. I can't say anything else about this Chiefs team here off that game. I did expect on my Selling the Kingdom last week. I did say I expect us to lose 28-24. So to be able to come out and dominate like we did, I was pretty happy about that. So
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out real quick though too is that the offensive line probably played their best game I've seen for a Chiefs offensive line in many years. As a matter of fact, just because this Chiefs team, especially with Andy Reid over the time we've had Andy, has not been well known for having an amazing run game. I mean, we've always been pass oriented, even with Alex Smith, and yeah, Jamal Charles had some great years early on, but a lot of it was in the receiving game. And Jamal Charles was his own special ordeal. I mean, that guy was pretty unique in his own way. But like what we've seen a lot through Andy is running back by committee, and it's been just kind of middle of the pack. And I've always had a problem with the Chiefs' offensive line ever since Andy got here in the run game. Offensively, pass blocking wise, they've been fine for the most part. This has not been a bad O line since Andy's come to town for most of the majority of the seasons he's been here.
Yeah.
But this past game here against the Buccaneers really was amazing to me. First of all, you're going against Vita Vea and Shaq Barrett and so on, and all in the great linebackers they have there in Devin White, and you're literally just shoving them back, pushing them around like they're nobodies.
They used the tanks in the middle finally.
Yeah,
Thuney, Thuney. Wow, I'm losing names. Help me out.
Well, you had Creed Humphrey at center, obviously. And,
Humphrey.
Joe Thuney was in there at left guard, of course,
and the right guard, Trey Smith.
Yeah, Trey Smith.
So you finally used him.
It was a revenge game. You have to keep that in mind in many respects because they lost the Super Bowl in that building, and so.
Sure.
It was a revenge game, and I don't want to take too much away. It's a positive thing.
That game was 2 years ago, and we're calling it a revenge game, and it still holds true, though.
It was a Brady Mahomes game, so
it's not forgotten about by any means. I mean, it was a revenge game for Patrick Mahomes, for Andy Reid, and then the O-line was pissed off because Shaq Barrett basically said that they were, a bunch of nobodies because they're the same as they were in the Super Bowl. It's like, no, actually, all these guys are new, and they're freaking. You're gonna compare them to what we had in the Super Bowl, which was all backups. So I mean, of course, those guys had something to play for, of course. And Andrew Wiley, of course, he was part of that Chiefs Super Bowl team, even.
Yep.
So
remember, he got swapped sides. He had to play left tackle, coming from the right side.
Yeah, it's rough.
The whole shebang.
And yeah, every one of those guys had a bad game. Andrew Wiley had a really bad game against the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl game, but. This O-line is like, no, we're not going to be compared to that crap that we saw out there where Mahomes ran for 497 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Like, it's just not the same thing.
Shut out. Yeah, the whole.
Yeah, I think for me, I want to see more of that going forward of the O-line doing damage, pushing them back, showing who's boss, and just I want to see a Chiefs run game that's as consistent more often as what we saw this past week because we got
the monsters for it.
Do you guys realize against the Colts, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 7 attempts for 0 yards rushing? I mean, that's the shit we can't have, and that's the shit that'll cost you games. And it did. There was no running game. Or against the Buccaneers, we literally did whatever the hell we wanted.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if you had Pacheco or Clyde in there, we were going to run on them, and it worked. Worked really well too.
You don't think that has anything to do with the fact that Tom Brady and Giselle just filed divorce papers, and that maybe made them take a little step back there?
Well, Tom had a pretty good game statistically.
Yeah,
right?
Mike, Tom had a pretty good game himself.
365 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, on paper. Now, in the past, we've destroyed Tom. The Chiefs have destroyed Tom in the past.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it's a thing that has happened a couple different times, as a matter of fact. This was not one of those games where it's like, wow, Tom really crapped the bed. No, Tom played like Tom.
He did play great.
It was the Buccaneers defense who was the best in the league going into this that literally folded
immediately.
Yes, very quickly on play number 2 against Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
for a touchdown. So, anyways, we'll talk more about this on the Settling the Kingdom show, you guys, and as well as dig into the Week 5 game against the Raiders. Yeah, it's not as fun to say it anymore. The Chris Berman, the Oakland Raiders. Now we got to say
the
Las Vegas Raiders. There's no ring to it. There's no ring.
Las Vegas Raiders.
That sounds weak. I don't like it.
No,
I don't like it, man. It was more fun when Chris Berman would be like, The Oakland Raiders. And they sound like he's grandma over there trying to say their names now.
You sound like you got a squirrel stuck in your throat trying to imitate him.
Yeah, a squirrel or something else. Who knows? But this is the buffoon show. You never know what we do off the air here. But yeah. So, anyways, we'll talk about that later on, you guys. So, with all that said,
let's make a bet.
Let's make a bet.
Fucking bets.
Let's make a bet. So, obviously, sports betting, as we talked about with you guys for quite a while now, legal in Kansas finally, and all that. And we have ways to make you guys some money on this show. We're here to help the fans out. Each and every week, we're gonna probably give you guys a couple bets here and there, some random easy money bets of the week, something that's going to be something to look into, to throw down on, and make you guys an extra couple hundred or so every single week if you choose to do so. So far, I'm looking very swell. I finally lost a little bit in the NFL this week, but I made up for it on that K-State game, so I ended up in the positives. So, but as far as my NFL bets, I finally had a slightly down week.
Slightly down week, or for props and stuff like that.
For props, which I've done much better at than I have on any line bets, but we'll save that for later. So, JG, you are well known for being our sports betting connoisseur.
What was his bet last week? It was Houston covering, who were 4-0 covering, and they ended up getting destroyed by Herbert and almost came back.
Well, actually, they were
came back and covered. Actually,
they were 2-0-1 covering, so there was a tie there.
I thought they were 4-0 against the spread.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
All right.
No, the Texans were not 4-0 against the spread. They were 2-1.
So did I win? Did I win last week?
No, you did not.
No, you lost on that one.
Well, I got to make it up to you guys this week, so I'm going to give you a couple right now. So we got Pittsburgh at Buffalo. 2 NFL teams. You have a spread of 14 points. Okay. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here. Buffalo coming off that win against the Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo is going to be a little bit cocky in this game, much like JG, who thinks that he wins all of his fucking easy money bets, but he doesn't. The Buffalo is cocky. They're going to win this fucking game, guys, but they are not going to cover 14 points. Like that's just way too much to ask. So a couple of easy money bets for you guys. I got Pittsburgh covering at Buffalo. So I'll take the 14 points. And then the other one I want to hit on is Philadelphia at Arizona. We all think that the Philadelphia Eagles are God's gift to the NFC because they're 4-0. That's not going to fucking happen this week. Arizona is playing at home. They are a formidable opponent. Philadelphia is -5 on the road. That shit's not going to happen. Arizona is probably going to win this game.
It's 5.5 now.
Yeah. So Arizona is probably going to win. So I'm going to roll with Arizona in this game. So give me Pittsburgh and Arizona to cover.
Yeah, I like Arizona, of course. I think they're one of those sneaky teams that can literally at any point come up and beat somebody. It doesn't really matter what team that is. I think they can make it happen just with the way that they're, especially once they get Hopkins in there.
Especially Hopkins.
I think then they'll be even more of a interesting team to watch as the stretch of the season goes on. But mine actually is 4-0 against the spread.
And yours was last week.
Well,
remember what your guarantee was?
Well, right now?
No, last week.
No, I know. I don't know. I don't remember right now.
I don't remember what your guarantee was.
Well, whatever it was, I was right.
Did you cheat like Barry Bonds? My gosh.
Yeah, I was starting to put some needles in my arm and all that.
I got to write some of this down now.
No, whatever. I don't remember right now. I'm focused on this week, goddammit. But my pick last week.
I'm just holding you accountable, dude.
My pick last week was correct. We can go back and look at it, and we can dig it up.
He wants
find
Houston.
Right, I do know. I did not have Houston last week. Oh, gosh. Dude, get me off track, you guys. I'm trying to help the people out there right now.
Of this. What do you got going on?
What are you doing over there? Jesus Christ. What the hell's wrong with you? What if I have COVID?
That's good shit. Well, yeah, exactly. What if you do have COVID? I don't have an answer for that.
We're going to have to cut the show short real quick.
You're going to tell me what to do at that point.
All right. The only remaining undefeated against the spread team in the NFL this year is the Atlanta Falcons. And it's a streak of 4-0, which tells me to ride the streak against the Buccaneers. The line is 8.5.
Are you kidding me? Without Patterson?
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about Patterson.
Who are you taking?
The Falcons are going to cover that 8.5 against the Buccaneers. and it's 8.5, guys. 8.5.
Wow.
The Falcons will cover the 8.5 against
That's
the
an
Bucs.
awful bet. That's a
It's awful.
terrible bet. What
It
the
is
hell
terrible.
Are you talking
It is
about?
terrible. But if you want to make some money,
I'm very disappointed in you. In
if you want
fact,
to make some money,
ugh,
this is the one for you to make. You're gonna write it down right now.
just finish the segment. I have nothing more to say.
I don't have anything more to say either. I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah, y'all gonna
Write
learn
that
today.
shit down, Tanner. This is bullshit.
You're gonna learn today about NFL Mike.
This
Plus
is
8.
bullshit.
No,
That's
Mike,
what you
8.5.
just said. 8.5.
You at
plus
least
8.5.
got to get it right if you're gonna write this shit down.
8.5.
And also, you can look back at last week's and see I was right.
I
too,
will.
so.
I'll look last week. This is here. This is
Goodness
for.
gracious. All right, are you done writing in the
week
notebooks
5.
during the show, Tanner?
Oh, I'll do it all the
I'm
time.
ready for your betting opinion.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I had Old Dominion covering the +3, in which they did. They lost 16-14. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'll have to look back for sure. But I got myself another college football bet, guys, because I'm not going to go NFL the whole entire time like these guys. So give me South Carolina to cover at the I think it's a plus 7.5. South Carolina to cover at Kentucky. It's just a
And
hunch
that's
here.
how much? What is it?
7.5.
Cover at Kentucky. Okay.
Yeah, South Carolina has actually been a pretty good offensive team this year. Kentucky had their first loss last week against Ole Miss. Give me some hunch with Kentucky and their SEC losses they like to go about. I'm not saying they're going to lose this game, but I think they're going to struggle offensively again and defensively. So give me South Carolina to cover at Kentucky 7.5.
All right. Well, there we go. So, any last feelings before we wrap this one up today?
Yeah, Tanner, since you're so knowledgeable about college football, if I throw out Urban Meyer for the next coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, are you going yay or nay?
Nay. But
You
no, don't do that. But give me Urban Meyer for if he goes anywhere, possibly Wisconsin.
I'd like to see Urban Meyer coach Antonio Brown.
Oh,
see
I
what
would
happens.
love that.
They'd both be in the
Do
club.
you know how
Let's
much
see what
money,
happens.
if that was a show on Hulu, do you know how much fucking
I
money
would
they'd make? They'd
put
make
them on-
a shitload
Put him
of
on
money.
Last Chance U together and just see what the hell happens.
I don't want to see that either.
I would watch that crap.
Did you say Jason Pittsburgh covers?
Pittsburgh? Yeah, I
14.
got Pittsburgh.
Oh, 14.
All he
Okay.
did was pick the biggest line and then win against it.
Biggest
So,
line in history.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, Pittsburgh
not
has
TJ
not,
Watt.
guys, Pittsburgh has not been that big of a dog since 1969 when Chuck Noll was the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So just
Well,
keep that in mind.
I got this here, guys, for week 5. That's
Well,
I'll remember this now.
Tanner's going to go back through last week's and the
and
week
I'll go
before
back
even
through.
and realize that I'm here to make you guys money and not just fool around. So
And more importantly, Jamison Crowder is not going to play for the Bills. That's a big
Who
deal.
cares
guys.
about Crowder? Yeah, I'm worried.
He's
I'm
not
more
even
worried
gonna
about
play.
McKenzie.
They need him.
They need McKenzie,
Jamison
not Crowder. They need
They
McKenzie.
cannot cover 14 points. It's not going to happen. Not
Oh,
without
my.
Crowder.
that guy sucks. Why do you care about Jamison Crowder? God.
I don't care. I'm just telling you, they can't cover the damn 14 points.
Without Crowder, I'm like Jesus.
Hey guys,
What's going on here?
you guys going to Lawrence this weekend?
Am I going to Lawrence? this
Yeah,
weekend?
I'll go
I
with you.
actually am
Sure.
Friday night
Well, why not Saturday?
because Saturday sounds like a crappy day to go out there.
College game day.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Pat's
in all
going to
that.
be there, guys. We got to go see
I'm going
Pat
to Mud and
McAfee.
Lotus Friday night with the girlfriend. We're gonna get a night spa.
We got the buffoon sign that Hammett suggested that we go out there and show the buffoon sign out in college game day.
Are you gonna bring it
Okay.
to the game?
I won't go to the game
Why
probably.
don't you go to the game?
'Cause I haven't bought tickets or anything.
Let's go to the game, dude.
Dude,
It's
you guys
sold
need
out.
to go to the game. I'm
Fuck
gonna be
it.
busy. You guys should go to the game.
What? You're on the way. We'll just pick you up and throw you in the car.
I have stuff to do
I'll
Saturday.
probably just throw you in the trunk. I mean, we'll be done by 11.
I have things to do Saturday.
We'll be done by
I'm
11.
not going to a stupid. Well, first of all, they're gonna lose, but I'm not.
They're
going
not
to a
gonna
stupid
lose.
KU game.
I
Oh,
mean,
they're gonna
TCU
get destroyed by
TCU's
TCU.
good. I don't think they'll get destroyed.
They're gonna get destroyed.
That's gonna be a good game though.
It's gonna be a big wake up call.
But see, we're just gonna toss you in the trunk. You'll be fine. We'll leave by 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then we're
Look,
good.
I've been to 2K State games now, and like I'm a believer in like going to those games, even though I don't like the team. But I'm not going to any KU games.
No, I'm not saying go to the game. We'll just go till game day.
Oh, just to the game day.
Yeah,
portion.
just game day.
Yeah. I got a car appointment. at that time. So
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I gotta-
I got a car appointment.
I gotta wash my bathroom.
Right quick, on the London games.
I gotta put down my
Are you guys a
cucumber.
big fan of the London games? Games being played
No,
in London?
I'm not.
or-
I'm not going
I-
over the long.
You want to
London
put that in
games.
the shitter? Mike?
It's stupid. I'm not interested. I'd much rather move it around though instead of just keeping it in London every year. So I'm much more a fan
I like
of
the reach out
moving
though.
it
I like the London. There's a lot of fans
But
in
Tanner,
in
we've been
London,
doing this
too.
now for over a decade.
Yeah.
With the London games.
I
Like,
think
is it
I think
not-
it's being more successful, or at least for the
What-
NFL
what's the
portion.
point? Where are we going with this? Like, what's
Well, you got a lot
why?
of UK fans, obviously, as we're part of Let's Talk Sports.
Okay.
So you do got those fans.
The games, they air live here at 8:30 Central.
Yeah. So what if they air early? Are you worried about
I
the
just
whole
don't see
fantasy
the
part
appeal.
of that?
No, I don't see the appeal of it.
Maybe not for the U.S. I mean, if Chiefs played out in London, we'd wake
Has
up
London
at,
picked a team yet? Do they have a favorite team?
well, obviously it's between the Jets and the 49ers from a Let's Talk Sports.
Here's the thing,
standpoint.
guys. I like the idea of it, but ultimately, if you're not going to put a damn team
So-
out there, I think it's useless because I've always been pro player, and it's more travel time, so you're not getting the best product on the field when you're just adding so much more travel time to these
If you
teams.
put
And so
a
if
team
you're
there,
gonna
If you
put
put
a
a
going to
team
suck.
there, that's a lot. That's a difficult.
If you
task.
put a
you
team
put a
there,
team
they will
there,
suck.
But
forever.
at least that means you're committed to it.
But that
now
means-
we're just adding
Committed-
travel
You're gonna
time
put
to
a crap-
random teams every
You're
fucking
gonna put a
year.
crappy team out there for the sake of putting a team out there.
That means now you
'cause
got
they're not gonna be good
players.
ever.
Now,
Well,
now
they
you got
want
players
Jacksonville. You know they want Jacksonville.
become UK citizens.
It's not going to work out.
That wouldn't work out. There's
It'll
no
be
way
an
that would work
expansion
out.
team.
So
by
we
the
need
way.
to do away with it altogether.
There's not going to be an NFL team.
I like
that's
it.
ever
I actually
successful.
like
I
it.
know, but you want to do away with the whole thing, right?
I'm not
With-
interested.
with London.
I just don't. I don't. By now, it's like it's getting old and it's not really going anywhere. What's the point?
What are you talking
just
about? They're
feel
making
like
money
It's
off
not
of
going
it.
anywhere. Why not play games in Toronto? Why not spend more time?
They're
in-
eventually going to expand.
but
I
Toronto's
just-
literally right there. Like,
know.
why go all the way to London where all these guys out there like been? Oh, maybe one day we'll get a team.
I don't know.
You'll never get a team there.
Mexico
London.
City. We got
I
Mexico
just-
City.
I know,
going
I
I'm
now.
don't
fine
think
with
you're
Mexico
getting,
City.
you're not going to get the best product on the field with all of the extra travel time. That's my biggest thing with it. And so I think they should do away with it.
I'm over it. Like it's annoying.
I like it.
It sucks.
I like it.
nothing
I love
positive
the
about it.
expansion, and I like it for my guys
Expansion
up in
in
Let's Talk
what way,
Sports.
Tanner? It's been over a decade.
Expansion
expanded?
of fans. It's more than
What
just
does that have to do with anything?
America's
Expansion of,
league.
like, how does that affect anything?
Sales.
I do want to bring
You
back.
Fan-
care,
Fandom.
you care suddenly about NFL
No,
sales.
I'm just telling you. That's why the NFL's into it. I like
But
it.
why do you care about the NFL?
New venue, a different
sales.
venue, a neutral
A
site.
random shitty soccer field. No one cares about that. I'd rather see teams play
Again-
in their stadium that's well maintained and taken care of.
I like it.
And
what do you
at
think?
home.
London's
Why
not
Why do you have to
maintained?
give up a home game to go play in London? That's stupid.
Are you mad because the Chiefs are giving up a home game next year?
We already did it a couple years ago.
We went to London.
I do
Couple
want to
years
bring
ago?
back.
Whatever. It
Hey,
was,
Mexico City. You're talking about?
no, we gave up a London game a few years ago, but still, we've done it before.
I don't know, dude.
I do
I don't
want-
mind
I just
it.
I don't see a
It doesn't
point.
bother me one way. Right
To be
now.
clear, I
No
don't
point.
want to have a London team, but I do want to bring back the Montreal Expos into Major League Baseball. Like that brings me back to my childhood. I love the Montreal Expos.
Well, I can tell you right
think
now,
we should bring them back.
That's a good chance because Tampa, if they don't get that new stadium, that's where they're going.
Oh, I would love it.
So, all right, guys.
Bring it on, baby.
Mike.
Hmm?
We got Selling the Kingdom.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Shopping Friday morning, as
do that. We're gonna
always.
do
You guys
that.
can check that out. You guys can JG. We got NBA starting soon. We'll have to figure some life
Sooner
out
than
soon.
we thought, apparently.
Yeah.
Sooner
So
than
October
we thought.
19th is the first slate of games to happen. So that's a couple weeks away. And then, of course, make sure you guys go follow Sports Buffoons, like, subscribe, of course. Go follow Let's Talk Sports as well. There's still a lot of stuff coming. We'll be talking AFC West on Saturday morning as well with Dale, David, and Logan. So,
All right, guys. Happy chugging. Enjoy your weekends, and have some pumpkin beers, and
Not a bad
it's
idea.
that time of year, I guess. So, have fun with all that good stuff. Don't forget about your aunts and uncles.
it's stuff.
I'll see you on the next one.
Outro.
See you guys.